Yes, Cynthia, it is happening as we speak right now. We are anticipating the arrival of Mr. Kidd here across the street from the Western Missouri Correctional Center. You can see that he is in one of these vehicles that is being caravanned right across the street. Again, this is a monumental day for Mr. Kidd, who has spent more than half his life behind bars. He is 44 years old, and he has spent 23 of those years behind bars. Here he is. You can see him. Mr. Kidd, how are you doing, sir?
Great, thank you.
What's it like being a free man live on Channel 41?
Free. It's like being, it's great. It's a wonderful feeling today. We dreamed for this day. I've dreamed for this day over the past 23 years, and it's finally here, and it's still seeking in, along with the rain.
When you got the ruling yesterday afternoon, what was that like hearing it from your lawyers?
Very emotional, tearful. I thought I would have words, but I guess the power of the ruling and that it actually came down, I was actually speechless. I said thank you, and I think I'm in a better position today to talk.
You've always maintained your innocence, and now you're actually a free man. What's these last few minutes been like for you after 23 years?
Elated, refreshing, nervous. I'm actually walking in a free society that I should have never been taken out of in the first place, so I'm very excited today.
What's next for you?
Everything. It's so much next to me. I want to spend time with my family. I want to deal with the issues of wrongful conviction, some of the underlying issues that cause wrongful convictions in the first place. That's going to be important to me. I think I found my voice throughout this 23-year process, and I'm going to use it. So,
Ricky, I know the past few days have been a whirlwind, but can you just describe the moment that you found out that you were leaving?
Yes, I was in the gym working out. I had my headphones on, so I couldn't hear them call my name. And the officer had to come over to the area of the gym where I was working and tell me that I had to return to the housing unit ASAP. And I was nervous. I assumed it probably was a decision, but what type of decision? I've been denied in the past when I thought I wouldn't be, so I was extremely nervous. And trying to breathe, and got back, and they told me I had an important call with my attorney. I got on the phone with my attorney, one of them over here, Sean O'Brien, and once they all got on the line, I said, "What's going on, guys?" And they said, "You know what's going on." And I said, "Well, let me hear it." And they told me I was free, and all the emotions came.
What did that feel like, Ricky? I mean, finally.
Emotional. Yeah. I just I cried. And I didn't think I would, but I did. And it's good because I got the tears out today so I can actually talk. I got the tears out yesterday so I can talk today. And it feels good.
Your message to those in the criminal justice system who placed you in that system in the first place, your words to them.
Let's talk. Let's talk about some of these issues that cause wrongful convictions. Let's have an intellectual adult dialogue about the things that create fortunate but unfortunate events like today. Public defender systems, failed public defender systems. Let's talk about mandatory recording for suspects and witnesses so we can get the truth in the first place instead of getting it at the end 23 years later. Double-blind identification procedures, suggestive identification procedures that happen in my case. There's a whole litany of issues that I think that we can come to the table and start having real conversations about. I'm not really interested in being the antagonizer to those on the other side. I think they do a noble thing. I think they wake up every day believing that they're doing the right thing. And most of them are, and some of them are not. And I want to have that conversation.
But in your case, it's been alleged that there was information that was kept from you that maybe wouldn't have convicted
She's
you.
not included in that. Everything that I just said, she's not included. To me, she's in a category by herself, and shame on her for that.
Besides your legal team, you have a ton of supporters that are standing by here.
I do.
Your words to them, your message to them tonight.
I love you. I love everybody. Thank you. You was my floating device. Without you, I would have drowned. We stand out here too long in the rain now. We're going to drown. No, but I thank them. I thank them. I wouldn't have been able to make it without them. I absolutely wouldn't have been able to make it without them. So,
what's next for you?
I am. I think you have to be. I think you have to be angry. But it's what you do with the anger. And I found a way to channel that and turn it into passion. And so in the days and weeks and months ahead, I think you'll see some of that passion emerge in conversations and perhaps interviews. But I am angry. I am very angry, and I continue to be, and we need to be. We all need to be angry. Taxpayers have foot the bill for 23 years paying for the wrong person to be in prison, while the real individuals was out there in society. We all should be angry about that, and should be also willing to do something about it.
Your girlfriend was 4 months pregnant when you went to jail. How was it to hug your daughter for the first time as a free man?
Great. It was something I dreamed about. You know, I feel like I just walked out of a nightmare and into a dream, if that makes sense. Because this is a dream. I dreamed this 23 years ago. I thought that I would go to Jackson County Jail in 1996 and walk back out with the understanding that they had the wrong person. And it took 23 years and a courageous judge and an amazing team to bring about this day. So I'm excited, guys. I'm elated and I'm excited. And
what should people think when they hear your story?
Oh, wow. They should hear, oh, wow. But more seriously, they should begin to question what's going on. How many of these stories are we going to hear about wrongful convictions across the nation? Because today, I'm not an anomaly. And there's tens of thousands of us all across this country and buried in states who have suffered the same fate as I have. How many times are we going to have this story replay itself and then the cameras go away? And then they come back out again when there's the next person. We need to start having a conversation about what to do about it. I hope people are challenged today in their living rooms, in their cars, on their phones, wherever they're watching, to say, you know what, we need to really do something about this. And I'm willing to sit at that table whenever that time comes.
There are going to be people who still think that maybe you might have committed this crime. What do you say to them?
Read the information. Read the judgment order. And get your head out from underneath the rocks, because there's no way. This isn't a close call to me. This isn't one of those cases where it's close. Not at all. To me, it never has been. And I think the judge conclusively and strongly came to that conclusion.
What is your message for other people who
refile to try you again? Do you think that she will?
I hope that she won't. I don't know.
Is it something you're even thinking about today?
I'm not. I think the judgment stands strong, and it stands on its own. And if that's what she wants to do, I would hope not. I'll just say I would hope not. I think it'll be a waste of taxpayers' time and money. It's a lot of violence, and real live time stuff going on in the streets. I watch the news every day. It's other cases that need to be sent to trial and prosecuted. This isn't one of them, in my opinion.
What is your message for other people who have been wrongfully convicted and are still in prison?
Look at me and be hopeful. Remain optimistic and know that if you keep that jab, always she's like, keep that jab. It's a fight. And you keep that jab out there, and you keep that jab out there. And justice is sometimes elusive, but if you stay in the fight and you learn how to persevere, that this can be your fate as well. That's what I would say.
Ricky, what does tonight look like for you? I know you probably have been envisioning this for many, many years now.
I have. It looks like I'm going to eat a steak and maybe have a Corona and enjoy my family, and then hopefully do some amazing follow-up stories with you guys and really try to flush out what happened and what we can do moving forward.
Ricky, what was the main thing that kept you going for 23 years?
I would have to say divine intervention. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I believe He kept me anchored, my family, and just believing in the promise that I feel He gave me. And I'm talking about my Heavenly Father, that He would bring me through it. Amazing legal team members, Trish, Sean, Cindy, their family, everybody just really just corralled behind me, and it was hard to give up. Even at times, I must admit, I felt like it was just hard because they wouldn't let me.
But they weren't always with you, though.
I love you.
What about the time before that, when nobody was helping you?
God was helping me. I feel like He was there. Every time I wanted to give up, there was a spirit that was with me that wouldn't allow me to give up. And I found ways to tap into that spirit in a real way, in a tangible way. I was writing. I use writing as a coping mechanism. I use facilitating programs, helping others as a coping mechanism. Just finding useful ways to spend my time in prison. Instead of just sulking 24 hours a day, I found a way to be productive. I've written plays since I've been in prison. I hope to write plays now that I'm out of prison. And so we're going to continue some of the productivity that was taking place back there behind the walls. I'm going to do it outside now.
Sean, what's it like for you, sir? The case that you've been following for a decade here. What's it like for you to see him actually walking as a free man here today?
It's just, there's no feeling like it. You just cannot, you can't comprehend. Every lawyer dreams of a moment like this. But, you know, it's all about Ricky. And for me, it's the last day and a half has just been nothing but adrenaline. You know, when is this going to happen?
How would you describe what happened to him?
The system failed twice. It failed when it wrongly convicted him, and it failed when it took 23 years to correct that mistake. And, you know, the courts were too skeptical. It was way too easy to convict an innocent man, and it was way harder than it should have been to free him. That's my overall impression of what happened here.
And the fight's not over just yet, is it?
No. I've been sending transcripts.
All right, you were listening live now to the incredible moment there in Cameron, Missouri, where Ricky Kidd was released from prison after more than 20 years behind bars. We lost the signal temporarily. Let's see if we can get it restored and go back to Andres Gutierrez, who's covering the story there.
Justice in the case, because there is a killer on the streets, and we're going to help fix that.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
Guys, this is again the release of Mr. Kidd here from the Western Missouri Correctional Center. We're still live on television. He is about to head over to his sister's house, and that is the duration of his release, at least for the next 30 days until there are pending further legal proceedings if those do occur. But right now he is here with his legal team. Darius, let's get off the tripod and let's walk around here, because again, we these moments after 23 years, this man is finally a free man. He has spent more than half his life, 44 years old, 23 years old, at 23, been out here, people here again supporting him, hugging his family members. For Dr. here with me as we pan and capture this emotional moment. Just an emotional moment here between his loved ones.
Hey, look at Harry and Renee. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't you start. Don't you start. Don't you start so I don't start. Thank you. We'll cry later, okay? All right, I'm doing hugs for $1. Anybody? How does it feel, man? How does it feel? Let's see. Good. It feels great. It feels great. It's been, like I said, I feel like I've just walked out of a nightmare and into a dream. And I'm about to enjoy every moment of it. What would you tell Lamar? I would tell Lamar Johnson, my friend, my brother.
Wow, you are looking live again. This is Ricky Kidd. He was released from prison in Cameron, Missouri today after more than 20 years behind bars. He said he's thrilled to be out. It's like walking out of a nightmare and into a dream. We're going to continue our coverage at 5 o'clock. You can also check out kshb.com. But some incredible statements, some incredible moments as he's hugging family and friends there, being released, now a free man from prison.